Castle of Castle does, and I bring you Subnautica and giant marshmallows. Well, they're not really giant marshmallows. What they are is untextured rocks. For whatever reason, getting the materials to work correctly on these marshmallows, the capped triplanar materials aren't working correctly at this point in time. Otherwise, you'd be looking at properly capped, like sand. When I say capped, is like there's sand on the top and then rock around the edges. Well, the triplanar materials work beautifully at stuff like that normally, but for some reason the ones that are currently available don't seem to want to work on models very well. It's like the model ends up looking like it's part of the sky. It's a little impossible for anything in real life. So, hey, what's going on with this? I guess recording the video actually was like lower res or something. So that's a little bizarre. I wonder why that happens sometimes. So, the idea right now is to get these new rock models in and make the process really smooth as possible. The only thing is that I'm a real stickler for making sure that the collision, you can't stick your face into a rock, see through it. However, using colliders is still a bit of a new thing. In fact, a lot of this is new because I mean, I'm really familiar with working with other engines, but Unity kind of has its own little system where you're adding components to every object to make sure that you add the components to the prefab. It's just a collection of different things. So I end up adding a whole bunch of different colliders to make sure that you can't stick your face into the rock. And in a case something like this, especially if it's an area you know people are going to be doing like reviews of the game and stuff like that, you're better off overshooting the collision than you are allowing a person to stick their face into the rock. Because as soon as a player sticks their face into a rock, they automatically think less of your game. I don't give a fuck what game it is. Okay? So, yeah. And sure enough, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to find a spot where, like, because I rotated the model and placed it in the ground in a certain way, where they managed to, like, really try hard and stick their face into the rock. This is just one of those things. If you make a rock, better damn be ready for someone to stick their face into it. It's a little weird because the video recording doesn't seem proper. Seems really low res for no reason. Well, it's not important. I went through a lot of time and effort. I went through ZBrush to get these models made, which was fast. I mean, making rocks in ZBrush is like practically automatic. And it's nice too because ZBrush is really good about keeping the the UVW unwraps and stuff like that. So you get all the models in place. Make sure that they all have collision. And we're planning on having cap materials made for the models that will work correctly with the models and everything like that, which shouldn't be too bad. Now, I hope the cap materials that we make look right. The idea of this is that we can have larger props that take up more, that fill up more space, that are more detailed and have different properties than the voxels currently have. At least that's the idea anyway. There's potential with it, but there's also some weird things about it too, like why not just figure out how to make the voxels more malleable, which is also perfectly legitimate. I don't know. It's mostly just experimentation at this point, and we're using props as it is anyway right now. Those giant shells, for example. I made sure that these models are fairly low poly so we can use them a lot. There was another model, a green reed model that was not working correctly. Whenever I placed it in the world, I'd click save, and it wasn't saving the transform of the object where it was located in the world. So all of the reads that I had placed the previous times, and then the reads would disappear. They were all sitting at 0, 0, 0. I made sure to fix that, and then I did another thing to bring in a hanging seaweed model that I've been waiting on. And well, during the process of like getting all this in motion, I was like, all right, yeah, this is going pretty quickly. It's pretty nice. And then I get hit with like an error, and also the seaweed model isn't exactly working ideally. But I get hit with a weird console spam every time I look at a certain model, and I was thinking it was one of the models that I made that caused this problem. Wasn't. One of the other ones, those blue things right there, those cause a huge, massive amount of slowdown when you're in the area, and I assumed it was the models that I had made. It wasn't. It wasn't even the reads. Damn it. So, like, I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with the rocks. The rocks are really low poly. They're like 1/10 the poly count of like most larger props. I really like what they do to add to the scene, but I ended up just wasting so much damn time trying to figure out exactly what was wrong. But I guess at least now I know, and I can make the props. I can make more of them easily. Now that I know the full process. But yeah, I wasted time trying to figure out what the problem was when it was just those damn blue things. Which is sad because they look really good with the reeds. I actually want to have an entire area where it's just like the reeds and the blue coral barnacles. They look like his barnacles. That's pretty much that. A lot of playtesting in game, a lot of ramping up for the big milestone and everything like that. I can't wait to see these things with the material applied to them, which shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully that'll get working. But all of the trying to track down bugs and making sure that the process is correct slowed down my ability to detail out that area as it should be. Oh well. Just part of the process. Thanks for watching.